This is round 3 of the Dunlop series from the streets of Townsville. Getting ready for the longer final race of the weekend for the Dunlop series, 18 laps, and for the first time ever in the history of the development series, all drivers get a chance to run on the soft Dunlop tyre. The final of the weekend sees Steve Owen on pole alongside Dale Wood. Greg Murphy's alongside me for this one. They are the guys to look for. Further back on the grid, though, Casey Stoner starts from position 26 as he continues to learn his way in V8 supercar racing.
Yeah, but he had a great race too. Obviously, half points didn't help him after that problem with the puncture he had in race 1. So he came from right at the back to 14th in race 2. Probably the best race he's had since he's been in the series. So it's good to see him making some gains.
Steve Owen on pole, Dale Wood alongside, Daniel Gaunt and Andrew Jones will start from row 2.
Well, it will come down to who gets the jump off the line here and makes the most of it. We've seen some interesting starts so far this weekend. Ash Walsh got an absolute shocker from pole in the last one. Steve Owen jumps beautifully. Dale Wood lights him up a little bit, comes across to cover. And down inside, Christian Lindbaum.
Oh, Aaron Russell goes to the wall, trying to get underneath.
Touch.
Oh, boy, I thought that was about to be massive. I thought we were going to have a huge crash, but somehow they made it through. Gaunt's injured. He's got a bashed up car.
Yeah, and Emery's taken the shortcut as well,
and
but I think
that's just pulling the mickey. All these blokes have decided to just drive straight up the inside. There's no incident to avoid. That's a joke.
No, that's not taking the spirit of the rules in the right vein there at all, as Daniel Gaunt, from that touch we saw, he's got either a puncture or a broken suspension, but a lot of guys made a decision pretty early as it's still happening. Walsh is off the road.
His weekend's been
at
bad.
turn 5. He has not had the weekend.
Oh,
and there's more action.
Nick McBride's in the middle of that pack. There's dust, there's debris, there's more cars coming through. Pollicina into Nandy Kiss. This is absolute drama. This will bring out the safety car. Daniel Gaunt's just trying to get back to the pits. His car's busted. A podium's gone begging for him. And there's damage and carnage and chaos.
Well, Nick McBride was incredibly lucky not to get another V8 supercar straight in his door.
Dale Wood did what he did in Perth, just lit it up, but he had to get across and cover the inside. Aaron Russell, there's left of screen. Look at this. There's just too many cars going for the same spot. Wall bounces. They were so lucky not to cause a massive accident.
There's a replay through turn 6.
Morris in the dirt to the right. There's McBride getting spun.
How they missed him, I don't know. The dust comes through. Pollicina, he lost control on the grass.
Nandy Kiss was innocent, did nothing wrong. Wrong place, wrong time. This is how it unfolded. On board with Taz Douglas, Aaron McGill, small tap on Nick McBride, and then chaos after this, Greg Murphy.
In car with Rodney Jane. Threaded his way through there. Coming around to the restart, the safety car has pulled off. Steve Owen in control of this race. He will lead them onto the front straight. Paul Morris getting an overlap very early on the last corner, which you are allowed to do, is able to get underneath Rodney Jane, unable to do anything about it. He's pulled in behind, but you are allowed to get an overlap at the last corner as long as you don't pass before you get to the start-finish line.
It's a good reminder that I think some drivers fall asleep on and forget sometimes. Look at this, Jane covering. There's history here. Jane and Morris had a blue here a couple of years ago.
That's exactly right, they did too.
It turned into a nose-to-nose argument after one of the races, and it all came from the first year we were here when Morris tipped Jane off the road in qualifying. They hadn't even got to a race, but Steve Owen out in front.
Dale Wood hot on his heels. We'll see who's like Andrew Jones blocking down the inside.
He probably deserves a little bit of a bump because that was a massive block on Aaron Russell. That's opened the door for Chris Pither, the former Ute champion, down the inside. His teammates with Andrew Jones from Brad Jones Racing. Top 2 have cleared away, but behind it's chaos. Mediki lunging Pither.
And is going to get away with it. He was pressured into that by Lindbaum.
Oh, but Russell made a mistake in front of them and gives away a spot to George Mediki. Pit lane penalty will be given to Aaron McGill for that contact before it is wild. It's willing. Just because they've got more grip on the soft tyre doesn't mean they have to use it in the door.
This is unbelievable. 4 wide down the front straight. Casey Stoner in the background getting tied up with someone else. In car again with Taz Douglas. He won't know which way to go. He's behind Jack Perkins, all looking down the inside with 4 wide again into turn 1. Morris takes Walsh. Finally, someone has to give way. Lindholm was the beneficiary out of that one.
This is crazy. We're only on lap 6 and 18. Drew Russell and Rodney Jane have got together. Massive hit on the fence. The Newcastle driver down the escape road. Whoa, that was heavy. Those concrete blocks take a lot of force to move, and he moved it.
Very substantial damage. We're obviously going to see, I would say, another safety car with this, and then we might get a chance to work out what happened there. But a massive shunt out of turn 2 into the concrete.
Safety car out. Both cars are parked in the escape road at turn 3 before the re-entry point to Reed Park.
Here we go.
Oh, now has Russell snuck across on him, or perhaps they've locked wheels? Hard to tell from that. It's already happening before we see them pop in a shot. This is with Rodney Jane looking at the back of Jeff Fenn.
Well, there was plenty of room. There was plenty of room. You could see from that camera angle, there was plenty of room on the other side of Rodney Jane. So I'm not sure. It does look like...
Was Drew trying to squeeze and there was overlap?
It does look that way.
This was Andre Heimgartner getting an assist from Brett Stewart, who in turn had Casey Stoner with nowhere left to go after all of that. Casey's still on the road. He's position 20. This up, down, just further down the road was more drama, but this was going on at turn 2. We're under safety car here on the streets of Townsville. Race 3 has been crazy. Well, the safety car is out here in Townsville. This is why, if you missed it, Nick McBride tapped into a spin and all hell broke loose. Driving through the smoke, Jim Policina loses control, wipes out Nandy Kiss. Signage goes everywhere, smoke, grass, dirt and debris. We had it all, and that has brought out the safety car and really slowed things down for the last few laps. Steve Owen is the leader. We are on lap 10 of 18. Pretty keen to get some racing under our belts before the end of this one, Murph, with Steve Owen to lead us away.
And hopefully now we will see the Dunlop series get some green laps.
And in the background, Paul Morris was pulling the overlap trick that he tried earlier on, but Jack Perkins was a wake-up to it as well. Look at them side by side with Taz Douglas right in behind. Aaron Russell covering Christian Lindholm, and dude down the inside got it done.
Oh, is he going to give Jack room? No, he wasn't going to give a lot of room. Chris Prither's going to benefit from this one. Had the better angle and the better line off turn 2. He's up the inside of Jack Perkins. Jack has been shuffled back another couple of spots, not having the weekend he was hoping for after that incident in race 1, which put him towards the back after qualifying so good on the front row.
So it's Owen the leader, Dale Wood second, Andrew Jones, the ALB Commodore, next through that black number 20 car. He's on target for the podium for the weekend, and if he can do it, it's his first podium, check this for a stat, since he won the Development Series crown at Malala in 2004.
That's a long time between drinks. Christian Lindholm showing the nose. Ashley Walsh down the inside. Oh, Jeff Emery. Another story there, obviously, with Ash, with his weekend, not the one he was hoping for. The guys at the front, Dale Wood and Steve Owen, really having the cleanest run out of the whole field this weekend. And we get a full green lap.
Shocked me. It took a while. Steve Owen, though, and Dale Wood clearing away. Their teammates from Matthew White's team, the pair of ex-FPR cars, the ex-Winterbottom and Will Davison machines. Perkins, though, re-lunging on Pithar.
Who gives room.
Yep. Switchback's on, though.
The switchback is on, and he has the inside line. So that's been going on since the restart. That's several passes for these guys. This looks very familiar from 1 lap ago. On the outside, Jack Perkins. Taz Douglas must be wondering what is going to happen next, but who's got the inside line for turn 5? Jack has managed to stay there the whole way around. Pithers holding on.
No
he goes to the inside for 6. Perkins gives him room, runs a bit wide. He will get the run now.
Still
Douglas.
Going. It's not done.
It's not done. But he has to. Finally, Chris Prither has to give way.
That was good. I like that. Side by side for 3 or 4 corners, and Taz Douglas didn't pay for the seat and saw it all.
And that was probably due to that soft tyre, actually, giving those guys that extra grip on the outside, being able to give room and hold on to those positions as Ash Walsh. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to dive down very narrow and pulls it off. Limbaugh, I hope he wasn't looking in the mirror. He would have had the infant's friend, Falcon, looming.
New lap record out front. Steve Owen has broken Andrew Thompson's mark from 2 years ago. He's only gone a tenth or so quicker, but he's out in front with a nice little margin back to Dale Wood, but this is where the fight's at.
And that's a very competitive time if we look at comparing them to the V8 Supercars yesterday on that soft tyre. He's only a couple of tenths off the fastest lap time. There's a replay. Jack Perkins using the curb, giving each other room. Chris Pither, look at his head just angled over, looking at the Hog's Bread Cafe Commodore, and he's sideways using every bit of road, and I guarantee you couldn't have done that on the hard tyre. So these guys making the most of it. Jack sees that he's still up the inside of him. He's got to give him room. Look how much curve Pither uses. The side skirt's hanging off it. Jack gives him room, runs it wide. Beautiful slow-mo shot there. And they all live to fight another day. Grass flying, using every bit of road. Dale Wood has not let Steve Owen get away at all. That gap has remained the same.
Back through the end of the top 10, there's Perkins in 10th, Pither, Douglas, Gary Jacobson, Marcus Jukanovic. Little move here, a couple of fighters here. Josh Hunter lunging Morgan Haber. These two young guys have come from V8, oh, that was a bit wide, come from V8 touring cars, which is where the series, that's not directly connected to V8 Supercars, but it's where all the cars go from the development series when they're no longer eligible. It's run on a different type of tyre, but lots of young guys using it as a leg up to the development category.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got categories under categories under categories, which is fantastic to see that movement happening from that category. Casey Stoner here trying to recover after that incident down at turn 2 and using every bit of road. He's under a big learning curve again with the tyre change on his Red Bull Putzek Commodore and doing a good job of it. Just in front of them is Cam Waters, whose weekend has been an absolute disaster also.
Yeah, that's a real shame. He's driving for Minda Motorsport. He's got some new backing.
Oh, Stoner.
That was tight. But Hunter hangs on, the young guy in the Finance Easy Ford, one of the ex-Dick Johnson racing cars from last year. Morgan Haber, ex-FPR car out wide and running it through the scenery. That's the car that Luke Gilder drove last year. That fight continues for position 16. We jump back aboard with Gary Jacobson, a bit further down the road in 13th in the 994. This is actually Dean Fiore's Jim Beam car from last year that formerly Fabian Coulthard drove in Wilson Security colours. It's running now with the Sonic team in Melbourne, and he's right in behind Taz Douglas. Jack Perkins, fastest man on the track. He's just broken the lap record a lap ago, 1:14, but I think he's dropping down our timing screen. There's something crazy going on there. Nick McBride has been involved in more drama. Now, Walsh is down the inside of Mediki. He's Matt Stone Racing teammate in the fight for 4th position. He's desperate to just get some points back in what's been a tough weekend. The one good thing for him, though, Merv, the next round is in Ipswich at Queensland Raceway. He's an Ipswich boy, and he knows that place really well.
Yeah, these guys at it big time. And I just want to say that that was probably how that should have been done with Rodney Jane and Drew Russell earlier. Those two guys out of turn 2, gave each other room. Medicki realised Walsh had the inside line into turn 3, and he gave him the room he needed to pull that off as Christian Lindbaum looks on. A lot of Falcons in here in this section of the race. All these guys having a good run. Here's Jack Perkins down the inside of Jeff Emery, using the knowledge that he has and the experience, pushing his ex-Triple Eight car up the inside of the other Triple Eight K. Dives across the other side and into the last corner. Will Emery give him a little room? Jack gives him a little bit of a touch and reminds him he's there, moves him aside as Paul Morris sideways off the last corner is now looking for that same opportunity.
Last lap, this time by Owen has got it under control. There's Jack Perkins up in front. He's dropped off our timing radar down the order, but he's been reinserted. There's a bit of a drama with the transponder in that car, but he's definitely 8th on the road, but this guy's definitely in the lead. Steve Owen is on target for his first round win of the year. It'll be the second for this actual car for Matthew White's team, and if he can come home, which he does in half a lap's time, it will be his 8th DBS round win, one short of the record, which is held by the only other 2-time champion, Dean Canto.
And Dale Wood has not let him get away at all. He has been pushing and pushing and pushing. This will be great for his confidence also to see where he sits on par with a guy that has so much experience like Steve Owen has got and has such a great reputation in the paddock. And such a good reputation that he will drive with the man who won the main race yesterday, Will Davison, at the Enduros for the Pepsi Max crew. But for the moment, it's 2 from 3. It's the overall round win for Steve Owen, and it's a 1-2 for MW Motorsport. It's all in the background. Andrew Jones will get home for 3rd in the race.
third for the round, his first DVS podium in 9 years. Casey Stoner will take this one down to the wire with Marcus Sukanovic, but he will come home 15th at the end, and considering he started from 26th, that's a good day's work.
Yeah, I think he was going to have a lot of stories after this weekend, considering what happened down at their first corner. But a good result for him, and as I say, I'm sure he has learnt a whole lot here at Townsville this weekend.
Walsh, Mediki, Lindbaum next from Aaron Russell. Well done to the young Newcastle driver. Emery Morrison Pither around it at the 10th, but in race 3 of the weekend, it was all Steve Owen.
Congratulations, Steve Owen. A seamless performance from start to finish, and it's actually your first round win since you won the championship in 2010.
Has it been that long? It was a perfect weekend, really. It's good to get a good weekend under the belt for Matty White and all the boys, and Sharon, you know, they're a great supporter of us, so to have pole, 2 race wins and 3 fastest laps couldn't have gone any better.
And obviously looking forward to the Enduros. We're coming up to that time of the year.
Absolutely. It's an FPR car, very similar to Will's, so, you know, that's the ideal preparation for the Enduros. The co-driver session went well yesterday, so fingers crossed, could be a big year.
Get up there and enjoy the podium.
Thank you.
Great job from Matthew White's team. They're based in Melbourne and they've picked up a 1-2. And Andrew Jones on the podium. Well done to BJR from Albury. George Mediki 4th for the weekend from Christian Lindbaum. Aaron Russell next. Ash Walsh, series leader, coming in, has work to do in the next round at Queensland Raceway. Paul Morris. Daniel Gort had dramas in that last race. He finished 24th, but 9th for the weekend. And 10th is Jeff Emery, who rounds out the 10 in the ex-Craig Lowndes Team Vodafone car.
Would you please congratulate our first place driver from Sharon Rentals MWM, Steve Owen. In second place for GB Galvanising Wilson Security, Dale Wood. And in third place for Advam Racing, Andrew Jones. Making the presentation of the third place trophy is Heath Grosvenor, the Queensland State Manager for our sponsor, Cooper's Brewery. Presenting to second place is Stephen May, the National Fleet Sales Manager, Kenworth Trucks. And presenting the first place trophy is Kevin Fitzsimmons, V8 Supercars Operation Manager from Dunlop. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 Round 3 Dunlop Series winners.
So we'll look at the championship points, and it's Dale Wood who is now in the lead, 42 back to Ash Walsh. Christian Lindbaum 3rd from Daniel Gort, George Mediki 5th, and Cam Waters rounding out the top 10. Next round of the Dunlop Series takes us to Queensland Raceway. It's Ash Walsh's home track at the Cope Tyre Ipswich 360. Thanks to Greg Murphy and the whole team. We'll see you next time with more action in the Dunlop Series.